Hidden History is brought to you by G2A.com and our supporters at Patreon. Over the past few months, Fallout fans all over the world have been holding their breath in anticipation for some new content. Thankfully, the first piece of DLC has finally arrived, bringing with new places to go, people to go meet, and things to shoot at. Fallout 4 Automatron follows your character as they face off against an enemy who happens to be building a deadly robot army. While many fans will be playing the add-ons just to build their own personal killer robots, there's still plenty to dig up into lore-wise as well. Starting with the antagonist of Automatron. While we don't want to get into spoilery territory with the Mechanist, if you know your Fallout lore, you'll know that this isn't the first time a version of the character has been seen in the series. According to Fallout 3, the Mechanist started out as a fictional antagonist in the comic book and radio series, the Silver Shroud, before inspiring a real-world counterpart in the Wasteland. The Silver Shroud seems to take a lot of inspiration from one character in particular, the Shadow, debuting on the Detective Story Hour radio show, before getting his own pulp magazine and radio show, where he was voiced by Hollywood legend Orson Welles. The Shadow was known as a mysterious detective and crime fighter, not to mention the main inspiration behind Batman himself. The Silver Shroud's connection to the Shadow becomes very obvious when you find his costume in Fallout 4, which is an obvious reference to the Shadow's actual costume. That's not the only connection though. In Fallout 4, the costume is given to you by a ghoul named Kent Connolly. It's probably no coincidence that he shares his first name with Kent Allard, the Shadow's alter ego in the pulp magazines. It's clear that the Automatron DLC takes a lot of inspiration from the old pulps. Even its cover seems to be influenced by sci-fi pulp magazines from the 40s and 50s, like Amazing Stories and Captain Future. But some of the references seem to go back even further than that. A lot further. Take Ahab and Jezebel, two robots that you'll find in the Fort Hagen satellite array. At first, Ahab won't be hostile, but mess with Jezebel too much and you'll have a battle to the death on your hands. This makes sense as the characters appear to be named after Ahab, the 7th king of Israel in the Bible, and his controversial wife, Jezebel. And much like the robotic Ahab of Automatron, the King Ahab was known for being fiercely protective of his wife. Most players will probably find themselves not liking Jezebel too much, as she comes across as one of the rudest and most condescending characters in Fallout 4. The Jezebel of the Bible had a similar likability problem. In fact, the people of Israel apparently hated her so much that they threw her out of the window, where she was trampled by horses and eaten by stray dogs. Moving on to some less gruesome stories. Next up is Ada, the new companion in the add-on. Much like how the Fallout 4 companion Curie gets her name from the famous scientist Marie Curie, Ada's name also seems to come from a very important female science pioneer, Ada Lovelace. Lovelace was an English mathematician and writer, known for her work on Charles Babbage's early mechanical computer, the analytical engine. Her notes include what is thought of as the very first algorithm intended to be carried out by a machine. Because of this, she often is said to be the very first computer programmer. Ada isn't the only reference to the historical figure in Fallout though. An Assaultron named Lady Lovelace also bears her name, going to show that even in the post-apocalyptic future of Fallout, Ada Lovelace's contributions haven't been forgotten. Next up, let's get to our comment showcase, which this week, well, it's pretty weird. We'll let you guys decide what you think. So, according to commenter Freakout at the Club, the Fallout 4 character, Jack Cabot, references us. Yep, us, the Shoddycast. By referencing the storyteller's signature line, "That's a story for another day," and also mentioning hidden histories, which, come on, kinda seems like a long shot to us. But Jack Cabot's Fallout wiki page is also claiming this to be the case. So, what do you guys think? Did we actually score ourselves a reference in Fallout 4? Because we genuinely cannot tell. But hey, pretty cool nonetheless. Thanks for the comment. Next up is our shoddy comment, which comes to us this week from Eli Lofton, who says, The problem with Fallout is that it isn't good. Let's be honest, it's bad. In fact, all video games are bad except maybe Mrs. Pac-Man and Candy Crush. Other than those though, every single one, but especially Fallout, is just incredibly terrible. Well, I'm not sure that you'll find a lot of people here that are gonna agree with you too much on that. Sorry. So, at last we come to our trivia. Last week we asked you to name the very first Reaper in Mass Effect lore. The answer, as many of you guessed, was not Felicia Day, although that would be pretty cool. But it was B. Harbinger. To answer this week's question though, you'll need some pretty current Bethesda knowledge. What new Commonwealth faction was introduced in Fallout 4 Automatron? Was it A. the Dirty Dans, B. the Brotherhood of Iron, C. the Murderous Marauders, or D. the Rust Devils? Tell me your answer below. Also, while you're at it, if you have played Automatron, do you think it's good? And remember, please don't spoil it for folk.